volví a encontrar. Soy así, ya es muy tarde para cambiar. Yo no espero nada, vivo sin rumbo. Solo quiero amar cada segundo. Soy aquel.
Welcome back, everybody, to the A Little Less Fear podcast. Today, I would love to welcome back Gao Motsemme, AMPG Change Management Certified, Balanced Leadership, Communication, Interviewing, and Presentation, CIMA Certified, BA, holy moly, so much. The languages, English, Deutsch, right? Am I saying that correct? Deutsch and Setswana. She's a mother of 3, a human MRI psychic surgeon. I love that title. She's a freedom illuminator, which is an embodiment queen. Hey, I have a question. Anybody can be an embodiment queen, even a guy, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we have those both energies, right?
Yeah, I'm an embodiment queen myself. She's devoted to helping individuals break free from patterns of generational toxic relationships and imprints, tap into unwavering self-love, and radiate true confidence so they can crush it in all parts of their life. Welcome back, Gao. Such a pleasure and such an honor to connect with you again.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here again. A little less fear. And
I
I love
know,
that.
right?
A little less fear every day, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
a place to
absolutely.
be.
So Gal is in Germany, which is incredible. I mean, for right now, I'm in Los Angeles, California, and for me, it's 10:38 a.m. And for Gao in Germany, it's past almost 7:40 p.m. over there.
Yeah,
So thank you
yeah.
so much for staying up late to be back on this podcast so we can be creative together, show our vulnerability and how vulnerability creates creation, correct? The body
Absolutely.
making
Absolutely.
love, as you said. Let's make love
Let's
to
make
life.
love. And that's the invite. Let's make love. And one thing that I love is even when I look at the name of your podcast, A Little Less Fear, and I look at what is happening outside, which is a collective consciousness and it informs us whether we like it or not.
Right.
So we look at that and the little less fear is kind of like, how would it feel every day to show up with a little less fear? No matter what is happening outside, what are you choosing? What are your intention when it comes to that? What are you
Right.
making love to? Which is exactly what is connecting to that. It's quite interesting because I'm talking about this. And as you know, when I'm speaking about this thing, I'm also tuning into the energy of the listeners and what this is taking me to as I'm asking this question. I'm just there in the womb area, in the creation space, where even as I'm asking this question, what are you making love to? What are you choosing to be courageous about? A little less fear of what every day, which could be an
Right.
intention every day. Like, okay, fine, yesterday this was happening, but I'm choosing a little less fear today. And connect to your body as the womb right now, as I'm speaking, is the womb that is calling us. And mostly what is coming through, which is the pain that is expressing itself in the womb, is more coming from the feminine side.
Yes. I love how you said that. It is coming from the feminine side, and the womb is calling us. Can we talk a little bit more
Mhm.
about that? How is the womb calling us?
We're talking about creation, right? When we're talking
Yes.
about creation, when like the question that I ask, what is your intention every day, even when it comes to what is happening in the world?
Mm.
Because between the time I was here and now, a lot has transpired,
Oh,
right? A lot has
yeah.
transpired in the world. There has been a lot of energy that has been happening and probably a lot of triggers. Because
Yes.
despite what is happening outside, we can go outside and focus on what is happening, whether it's economically, politically, and all those pastel, whatever, because I have a bit of accounting, economic, and everything.
Right, 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 right.
So we can look at all that. But at the same time, I feel like when all this thing is happening outside, the question is, what does it trigger? Or even
Mm.
when we connecting with all that is happening, are we focusing on the leadership is doing this, or we coming back to me, like what part of me resonate or is triggered by what is happening? Let's just give an example
Yeah.
with the toxic masculine, right? Because I said I'm feeling the pain of the feminine where the womb is calling us. That means when we look at what is happening, whether
Mhm.
it's politically, or economically, or even the expression of ourselves, whatever that you may be experiencing, the question is, where in your life are you experiencing that oppression, that masculine toxicity,
Yeah.
or you just focusing on the collective, like this is what is happening. But what happens if you unplug, which is one of the invite that I'm calling everyone to right now? What
To
happens when you
unplug?
unplug from the collective consciousness and now
Wow.
come back to you?
Uh-huh. What
Yeah,
happens if we unplug from the collective unconscious? So how does somebody begin to, first of all, a lot of people don't even realize and they're not aware that they are plugged into the collective conscious. So how does one first have that realization? Because from my understanding with this awareness is that there's a lot of emotions and as you're saying, pain that we're taking in from the collective, and we're having these stresses and anxieties, and it's starting to run our life and also ruin parts of our life, if you even want to call it ruin, or just trigger a
absolutely.
part that's gonna awaken us. So it's really not ruining, but rather just making us into a better version of ourselves. But before one can become aware of that they are tapping into the collective conscious, I mean, how does one tune that turn that off if they don't even know it's turned on?
What I love, especially when you say ruining and then you say, but it's not ruining, it's awakening. And the
Mm.
truth of it is, it can either awaken you or ruin you, depending on how you interpret it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
true because they're polarities of each other. So
absolutely.
yeah, one can go back and forth even. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah. So, coming back to, like you said, how can you unplug from that or even be aware? I would
Yes.
start with realize or be aware of how triggered you are, how
Yes.
emotional, raging you can be because a certain leader, certain institution, all that. Just observe what is happening when you like angry and all that, and then it's
Mm.
like it's personal. It's
Mm.
personal. This is not about, when you realize what is happening, come back to yourself and ask yourself, which is one of the questions that I actually love. Is this even mine?
Is this even mine? Like, is this energy that I'm feeling my energy?
Or I am feeling what, especially because I know there are many empathy. And for somebody to even be drawn to this, is because
Mhm.
they have that, they're
Right.
empathetic, right? So, and you realize that here's the thing also that is also confusing a bit, but on the other hand, if you, like I said, if you are in this path, obviously, even when it comes to family, when I say unplug from the collective consciousness, that is be aware of the region, everything, and then first thing come to yourself, is this even mine? And what is happening? Because you realize that what is happening in the world, one or the other affects us. Sometimes there are people who, I'm one of those. Sometimes when something is happening, or maybe even before it happens, I'll feel my energy just going low and I feel the sadness or whatever emotions that are just
Oh
coming through.
yeah.
And then you wake up and you realize something happened somewhere, right? Whether it's something that is happening through dreams or it's just your emotional temperature is just telling you that something is not right. And then immediately you hear there is something that is happening, or even whatever that you're watching. Because here's the thing, I've said this before in the previous podcast, and I'm going to continue saying this. We are being penetrated by something on a daily basis. We are being
Yes.
penetrated by something. The question is, are we present enough to be aware that, oh, I watched this podcast. And when I came to this podcast, I was feeling somehow down, but now I feel energized. Or
Yeah.
I watched something before, I was fine, but then I watched something and then I realized that now I'm not feeling well. It's just like one of those things, being present enough to discern where is this coming from. And here's the thing, when I talk about watching somebody, there was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago or something like that, I just jumped on Facebook and I saw a friend of mine, he did a live, and I was like, oh, so I just listened and all that, and it was nice, like a few minutes, and then I was out. After that, I'm just moving around. And I'm craving a donut. I'm like, I just want to eat a donut. And
Wow.
and at some point, I stopped in the kitchen. I'm like, why? why do I even want a donut? Where is this coming from?
Yeah, that's
And
really
immediately I had the voice pop in my head,
uh-huh.
and I went back to him. I'm like, what the hell is going on with you? And he told me what is happening. But if I was not present enough, I was gonna go buy a donut, because that's how, even when I asked this person about donuts, it's like, that's how I deal with my emotion. You
with
realize?
with sweets.
Yeah, he eats a donut when he's feeling certain ways. And now I was gonna be
Oh,
diving into his patterns of dealing with these things, and I was gonna go eat donuts, and then that becomes my pattern. So my pattern as well, on all that. So we are always taking people's shit. We're always being penetrated by something, and we take it. So stopping, being present, and asking yourself that question: is this mine? Or even, why am I so invested? Why am I triggered? And this brings me out also to something that I wanted to say about trigger. When you say something and I get triggered, I can make it about you. Oh, Dr. Lino, you think whatever, whatever. Or I can, as much as I'm feeling uncomfortable and whatever, this can be a moment where I get to sit down and ask myself, what is this? What is coming through? Because I feel like it, for me, I believe a trigger is a moment that is going to bring a breakthrough for me, as long as I'm willing to take it and sit with it.
yes, a trigger is a moment of it's a glimpse, it's a moment of breakthrough.
Yeah.
I love this. I have to write it down. A moment of breakthrough. So something you said right now that's just like like an aha moment for me. So I'm aware that we're of the law of karma, and that what we put out we receive, we get back,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are all collectively energetically connected and feeling each other's feelings. But what's interesting is I wasn't aware that we can pick up other people's patterns.
Ooh, we
That's
do.
amazing. That's amazing. So your craving for something might not be your craving. It's the energy that you're picking up from the other person. And unless you ask yourself, you're really not going to become aware. So slow down would be a really good thing to tell people. Slow down, especially in moments when you're feeling a brand new craving, or um an unexpected impulse to do something. Where is this impulse coming from? Is this even my emotions? Is this even going to serve me for my greater good?
Or what is it that I even like? I mean, we're talking about what we're craving and all that, which is gonna take me, because I'm a big believer in intuitive eating, right? So another thing is,
I'm
when
sorry, could you
you
repeat that? You're in what you just say? The last thing you said?
intuitive
Intuitive
eating.
eating. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So another thing, like, especially when it comes to food, because food is one of those things, again, even when it comes to making love, and also how you eat and how you connect with the food. And even at times when you want to eat something, like that craving could be somebody's emotions, or you are trying to avoid something, right?
Oh yeah.
Something happened and you don't want to feel it. And the only way that you want to deal with it is like, what can I take right now to numb it down? So it's either it's yours. The first thing, is it yours? And
Yeah.
then where is it coming from? And then
Mhm.
if it's yours, or no, from me, because I'm really that connected, when I ask that question, is this mine? It's like everything just dissolves immediately, and then it goes. If it stays, I know this is my shit. I need to look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this mine? Meaning, are these emotions mine?
Yeah.
And then upon the way somebody, I imagine, gets an answer would be because it either dissolves, or what else? What else? How does somebody get an answer from that question? What are ways
It's
to
either dissolves or it stays. But if it stays, then it's yours. You need to look into it.
Mhm.
What is it that happened? What is it that triggered that, probably that craving, or whatever that is going on? But it also goes back to, how connected are you? Because as I mentioned, that right now we are informed by the collective, and we are also informed by the patterns that we are born into, right? So most of the people, they're still going through life wearing the mask of who they should be, right? So if you are a child who, the only way, especially when you're talking about entrepreneurs, You know, the only way that you got love was by you getting amazing grades. That was the only time that you were given attention. Oh my God, you did so well. And it's like, yeah, yeah. So now your drive is, I have to make mama proud. I have to make daddy proud, you know, because you know you're going to get attention from that. You're going to be validated by that. So you go through your life living by what? By doing, because you know that when you achieve something, that's when you get to be validated. And at times it creates this, like you have to be validated for you to feel alive. Otherwise, if somebody feels like somebody do not see me, they do not see what I do, you feel this resentment, because it's like, well, what am I working hard for? You know, you are not doing it for you, you are doing it for you to get the love, because that validation, that acknowledgement for you, you interpret it as love. So these are the patterns that we carry on creating from. And some people, when it comes to that business, they're creating that business from the parents of the of the inner child. And my question is just simple, you know, who are you surprised when you give a 5-year-old child the car keys and you ask the 5-year-old child to drive, which could be driving your business or driving your relationship, you know? So if something don't work out the way you want, you throw a tantrum. When you get a rejection, it's like death to you, because it's like, oh, you don't love me, you know? So then the inner child is going to drive you what? To the ditch. Because the inner child, all the inner child wants is they want the love, but you don't know how to give it that love because you never received it. So you are chasing the external, which at times can be as simple as money. You know, we want money, we love money, but at the same time, you've made money your God, you know? So without it, you feel like there are people who, like, they'll be energized and active and, you know, human and everything when they have money, and when they don't have it, it's like all hell is breaking loose. They get angry with their partners, with everybody, they blame the whole world and all that, because they are not coming from within, from that self-esteem, knowing that I am the one who gets to create this, and even if it's not here, I get to create. It's not like money creates you. That's why they drive themselves into burnout, which is one of the things that I say. If you are wearing a mask or even an illusion of emotional intelligence, for instance, you know, because emotional intelligence is something that have been spoken about a lot, especially in corporate and all that. Like emotional intelligence is a big topic, but it's not from the embodied perspective. It's more like you're gonna learn to understand people so that you can manipulate, control them, and control the circumstances, but not connect with them. And now we're at a point where people are waking up, and as people are waking up, they don't want only you to come here with your intelligence and tell them what is intelligent. They want that deep connection.
Oh yeah.
This is why even the divorces are happening, because yeah, you are smart. The system trained you to be smart. The system trained you to be poor, hungry, and also emotionally disconnected. You know, when we look at the whole system, education and everything, so we live from here, not from the heart, not from the body.
So let's get back to you said all incredible things right now, but one thing that's sticking out to me right now is the emotional intelligence aspect. So the emotional intelligence is not really fully from based from what you're saying right now coming from the heart.
Yeah, it's more mental.
Mm-hmm.
Understand people, but don't connect with them. Understand them to
Mm-hmm.
manipulate them and to
Mm-hmm.
control them, you know, but not connection. And people are craving the connection, especially now than ever.
Yes. So being emotionally intelligent means that you can understand people kind of like on the surface, but it's not connecting with the heart.
Yeah.
So how does one start to be connect with the heart with other people?
First thing, you get to deal with the fear, which is the fear. When I look at it, I think I touched on this a little bit last time. And even when it comes to creation, this is why I'm big on sexual energy as well. We've been
Yeah.
trained to be ashamed of our sexual energy. We have been trained to be afraid or disconnect from our emotions. So these are the things that connect us to that passion, to that intimacy. So when it comes to whether it's societal, cultural, religious, and all these things, is more like, even the corporate world is more like, you're just gonna be here. You know, we disconnect from the, I mean, we are alive from the neck up, but from the body we are down, is like not part of us. This is why even when it comes to the self-development industry, it's more mindset. You can, I guess you can, if you are connected enough, or one of us, whenever they have come across a situation where they can hear somebody speaking, they speak something that it sounds nice, but when you connect to the energy, something isn't right. It's a mismatch, even though they may be trying all that because they trained it body wise and everything, but the energy that somebody is emitting is not in alignment with what they're saying. This is why even when it comes to, I always say this, when it comes to, for instance, entrepreneurs and all that, people can hear what you're saying. This is why it feels like you are speaking to the void. This is what creates also that intimacy barriers or invisible income ceiling, because the intelligence will take you to a certain level, but it's not going to take you to your next level, because the next level, it needs you. But if your energy is working against what you know, which is like information, people can believe you and run with you, but at some point they'll be like, now this is enough. Who is going to show up then when the information is no more working for you?
It's interesting because I recently had an experience where I was kind of having a business call or business connection with somebody last week or over the weekend, and I can feel that the energy is not in alignment with my heart space. I can feel that they can say one thing as you're saying, but my heart's very open. I'm very open to give love and receive love. And when there's an energetic block, or when I can feel that it's not, the two hearts are not penetrating each other, there's some kind of emotional block on the other person's end.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it challenging. Like, how do you connect with someone then? How do you communicate and how do you trust? That's the thing with me when I'm making a business transaction or whatever that means, or just talking to somebody professionally. How does one become authentic, be their authentic self, if the other receiving end has a block?
It's not really on you. And here's the thing, because when that also happens, when you focus on them, like you want them to receive you, you want to change something in them, you are also gonna disconnect from your heart, because you are trying to be here. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. I love what you said when you say, I did not feel the connection. There was that disconnection that was happening.
Yeah.
You've got a choice at that moment, because every time when we connect, this is why I don't separate the bedroom from the boardroom. You understand? Because who is showing up in the bedroom is how we show up in the bedroom is how we show up in the boardroom, right? So so if I'm connecting with you, whether we are on a date or whether we are discussing a business deal and all that,
Yeah.
and I'm in my heart, you can tell me all the great things. And I'll hear this is a great business deal, and I know we're gonna make a lot of money in it. And I hear you. But if I'm in my body, if I'm in my heart, I'll be able to discern. And I have a choice.
So
Either I deny how I'm feeling to say this sounds good, but it doesn't feel good, or I'm gonna follow my my heart and just say, I appreciate the offer. It sounds really good, but I'm not in alignment with it. This is somebody who is moving with conviction, because you know your mission is bigger. You know your yes is next, and you know that you're gonna make it with the person who is in front of you or not. So you
should I,
say no to that, because sometimes I can come here and offer you probably 10 million. Yes, it sounds like good, it sounds good and all that. Like they sound good, but it doesn't feel good. And
right,
when you
right.
go ahead with it and deny your truth, it's gonna cost you more than 10 million.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes it's not even about money, it's not in monetary terms. I take you as a client, I don't feel aligned with you. And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'm desperate because I want a client. I have to make, and all that. Oh, I feel like I can help you, even though you are not really. It's more like getting into a relationship because I want to change you. You know,
Yeah, right.
it's not gonna work, and it's gonna cost me my energy. It's gonna drain me, and that is gonna stop me from serving the people who are a yes. Because you are coming here with sometimes, even especially for somebody who does psychic work like me. Some people will come in with, because I want to check this thing of yours if it works or not. Or even when you say something, what is happening, somebody's like, nah, I don't think so. And my thing is like, I'm not fucking telling you what I'm telling you for you to approve, or I'm not looking for approval or anything. If your body is sharing something, I'm telling you what is coming through. Whether you agree with it or not, that's none of my business. I'm
Sure.
I'm I'm way over the am I right or wrong. This is why at times I can talk about For instance, if somebody has a headache, if I say you often have a headache, like on the right side, like, no, I don't have a headache right now. I'm not talking about now. I'm multidimensional. Sometimes when we are done, it's kind of like, oh shit, this is always coming through. So when you deny or refuse or resent your no because you feel like I'm gonna be missing out, this is also like coming from what your yes here and this, then going to reason with the logic. This is the thing of the relationship is not working, and then you go, but this person was nice 5 years ago. They bought me a diamond ring. They have been a provider. I'm being logical. Okay, now I'm bringing in my prostitute archetype that is telling me that what am I gonna do if this person is not here with the money, right? Because we have all those archetypes, and I'm denying my yes, even though when I'm staying in that relationship, then it's going to cost me something. I'm selling my soul for something. If I stay in that business deal, it's going to cost me more. So the most important thing is to stay with the truth and make that decision from the conviction that no matter what happens, your shit is going to work out because your mission is supported. And support is also one of the big things that also, when people say, I don't have money, I'm struggling with finances or whatever shit, it's not necessarily the money, is because of the not feeling supported, which takes us back to how was support in your bloodline? How was support in your family? This is one of the things where people are struggling with the finances, and the core is not feeling supported, and they don't even feel supported by the divine, by the universe, by God, whatever higher power you believe in. Yeah.
That's really incredible. I love this. Thank you so much. Something else that I'm feeling about this, as far as everything that you spoke about right now, being supported or trusting, um, your. I mean, if your heart is telling you basically no, but yet you still say yes because your mind is saying yes. Eventually, it's gonna cost you more, whether it's relationships or business deal, and everything that you're speaking of is people's if people can become a little bit more in tune to their intuition, and really fully come from the space of our own psychic energy, which we're all naturally gifted with, naturally born with, we all have this ability,
Yeah.
tapping into the heart space and tapping in from love taps into intuition, correct?
Yeah. And also abundance, because at times people make decisions because they're being driven by scarcity imprints. What if I miss
Patterns,
this
yeah.
deal? That means there's not going to be anything. What if I say no to this person? Am I going to find love again? That's
Mhm.
scarcity imprints that are going to make you stay in or say yes to things that are not in alignment with you, or stay in toxic situations. And another one most important point here, the moment you leave your body, your heart, and go to your mind, now it's like you've opened the door of manipulation, because
Mhm.
somebody, when you're in your mind, you are easily manipulated.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. So if I'm in my mind, that is, I'm moving around from information. And what the heck
Ooh,
we're
I
talking
love
about?
that. I love that. So if you're really in a lot, like fully in your mind and not in your lower body, correct? Mostly
Yeah.
above your body,
Mm-hmm.
you're easily manipulated because you're in the space of information.
Yeah. And here, well, what am I talking about when I'm talking about information? Information is history,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right
Okay.
now, when you're talking about our academics and everything and our life and everything, I know what happened. I know what I went through. I know what I experienced, whether it's in relationship, finances, at work, and all that. So when
Mm.
I'm in my mind, I'm tapping into the history, what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not tapping into the wisdom that is available
Mm-hmm.
in the present moment. This is why a lot of people will say, but I just knew from the beginning. Or
Mm-hmm.
or even they will say, some people will be like, I don't know how I missed the red flags. Because you went and studied and read about the red flags, and it was information that you held in your mind. And when you showing up, you show up, you meet Dr. Lino, and you having a conversation with Dr. Lino, and you're like, okay, fine, I'm looking, okay, fine, is that a red flag? I'm looking for the red flag. Like, I'm running with what you're saying. I'm trying to find something wrong with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I am not present to even connect with you. And
Right.
when I'm looking, again, here's the thing, even when it comes to what I'm looking for, When whatever that you're looking for, when you're looking for right, you find the right things. When you're looking for wrong, you find the wrong things. What is right is out there, and what is wrong is out there. The question is, what are you aligning with? This is why present is important, because when you come into being in the body, you are coming from that neutral state where you're showing up without the knowing. This is why I'm
Right.
big on let go of what you know and be present of what is here, which could be the wisdom, because the wisdom doesn't come from information.
Let go of what you know and welcome wisdom,
Yeah.
because what you know is like heart of mind.
Yeah, it's in the mind and it's history. It's what has
Hmm.
happened, what you learned. But for you to be able
Wisdom,
to, yeah, wisdom, it's something deeper.
it's what you're born with. It's divine intelligence.
It's what you are born with, and also bringing in the higher intelligence, which could be informing you of something at that present
Mhm.
moment. This is why, even when it comes to, which is even that intuition, when it comes to meeting somebody, you can meet somebody that you don't know, and just meeting them, already your body may tell you that something is not right here, something is not in alignment. I don't feel this person's energy. We always say that. Where is this coming from? Because you don't know that person, and at times you'll be like, I don't know why. Which takes us back to when I talk about the generational imprints, when I talk about, I don't know, yeah, past lives, but I'm a big believer in past life. I've had a lot of experiences, and even my clients have, where I know
Mm.
that it's not only this lifetime that we've had many experiences with many different people. And everyone, here's the thing as well, everyone that we come across, and it doesn't matter what we experience with those people, it's all part of the soul marriage, not the human marriage of until
Right.
the you have part, but it's kind of like there is that soul connection, soul contract agreements of us meeting and exchanging files. Sometimes I'm going to meet you and give you the files of betrayal, because there is something that betrayal has to activate within you.
Yeah, right. It has to activate in order to create more awareness of our wisdom.
Yeah. And people, we often get this was my story as well. When I'm talking about people, I'm talking about my experiences and my experiences of my clients as well. And I'm someone who experienced a lot of betrayal in my life, and at some point I was like really angry with this whole being betrayed, line of betrayal and all that. And the question that just came through is, when you say, what pissed you off more is because this is somebody that you trusted, somebody that you were with, somebody who knew what you went through and all that. Do you think you would have been betrayed if it was a stranger? And the
Right.
answer is no. If I meet somebody that I don't know, whatever that you do, it's kind of like, I didn't know you after all, so fuck you too. So for it to be betrayal, for it to be a lesson, it has to be somebody that I know and somebody that I trust.
Right. Because
Yeah.
if it's somebody that you know and somebody that you trusted, the lesson that will be learned is going to be deeper.
Absolutely. And you're not gonna just brush it aside. You're gonna
Mm.
feel it.
That's why the people that we love the most trigger us the most.
Absolutely. And definitely they have to, because
Oh
when
my
you look
goodness.
at it, whether it's family, there are some soul agreements. Why did we come together as a family? Why did we meet and say, okay, we are siblings or mother, father, and whatever? What are our expectations? Because
Yeah.
another thing is, we are not had by people. We are
Yeah.
had by the expectations that we have of those people, or even the roles that we have given these people in our lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Gal, I have some question. Let's go back to the beginning of this episode where we were talking about the womb is calling us. And so right now, since we've got like maybe 30 minutes into this conversation, a lot of things that I'm feeling from this interview, what we're getting at, and something that's really important to point out is that a lot of people are coming from and thinking, and the things that are triggering them and causing them a lot of pain, or even whether in business or relationships or anything, however they navigate their life, is because they're really thinking with their mind and not with their wisdom body. And
Mm-hmm.
coming from your wisdom body is the awakening of our womb, our womb calling us. And our womb is where creation begins. It's where our creativity starts, is where everything starts, which is why you even started the podcast with Let's Make Love. And so in making love, that is where the creativity process starts. That's where the wisdom body wakes up. That's where our intuition becomes fruitful. And that's where we begin to collectively connect in a more harmonic, balanced way. And am I understanding this correctly?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
And so let's go back to making love. What is making love?
Making love is creation. Making love is connection with the desire. Making love is connection with the pleasure, right? For me to be able to create something, and here's like what is just coming through is we've got a choice in life, whether life is happening or not. The question is, what are we following? Am I following what I desire, or am I following desperation? Which I don't know about you, but I'm somebody who, before I woke up, I was more like waiting for life to happen. That is, I was driven by desperation, right? I'm in a job, like I was an accountant, right? And I had a shitty boss. Or just the boss was or maybe the boss was not shitty, the boss was like showing some imprints of my relationship with the mother wound, I would say. That's like
Interesting.
what was
Yes, I love
happening,
that.
that was playing out in my relationship at work, and I would stay in that kind of, because it was not only one company, it was like different companies, whether it was a man or a woman, they would still play out all these parents who was showing the mother wound or the father wound that was playing out, right? And I'll be frustrated, but still stay in that job, either because okay, it's paying well and all that, until something happens, and then when something happens, it's like, oh, now I don't have any choice, I have to move, or I'll stay in a relationship. Ooh, this is like a bigger one, and I bet a lot of people can relate. You stay in a relationship where you are cheated, and then okay, yeah, he comes and apologizes, and yeah, okay, fine, he will change or whatever shit. Then you still continue in that relationship, and then eventually you realize that okay, there is another one, and then eventually something happens, like in my case, where the only thing that moved me out of the relationship where I had 2 children was when I realized that my then partner was in a relationship with his sister-in-law, and that hit home. And that was not even, I mean, I saw a lot of things. I didn't like everything. And I remember still the other time I had this question, and I asked God, I really want to know, is this relationship really for me? Am I meant to be in this relationship in so much pain and disrespect?
Yeah, right.
Right? I'm asking this question on Monday, and by then I was smoking. That's how stressed I was. I'm smoking my cigarette and asking this question. And the universe delivers. Friday, that same week, I received a call. I just picked up a phone. I don't know why I didn't say hello, but I didn't say hello. I picked up a phone, and this guy started speaking, calling his girlfriend's name. I love you, baby, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then at the end, I'm like, hello. And then he dropped the phone, and he came up with all the shit excuses. But at the end of the day, the universe did not lie to me. I asked question, and the universe showed me what I needed to see. And I stayed still because that's what I tolerated. This is what I say. You receive what you tolerate. The universe always delivers. The question is, when you get the response, what do you say? Do you say, oh, the devil is trying me, I'm gonna pray hard and whatever shit? Yeah, the universe is saying, I'm gonna make it so painful in your staying here so that you can get out of here. But when it's painful, now you feel like, oh, it's the devil outside of me. Yet the devil that is within you, the part of you that doesn't feel worthy, the part of you that is afraid of living, whatever beliefs that you have is what is making you stay in that situation. So for
Yeah.
me, when it comes to making love is what turns me on. What is it that calls me to make different choices, to make different decisions and all that? What inspires me? I'm moving towards something that is expansive, right? I want to grow, I want to evolve, I want
Yeah.
to expand. That's making love. Even when it comes to creation, whether I'm creating a content and all that, where do I feel that? Am I connected to that? Even when I'm in a relationship, when I come home and I'm with my partner and we meet, what are we doing? Even the moment where we are really making love, what the fuck are you creating, right? We like to talk even about this, I don't know, there is a word for it where you get angry with your partner or you argue and all that, and then after you argue, you make love, and it's like, yeah,
makeup sex.
makeup sex, right? It was fire and all that and all that. Like, okay, we like the whole fire of yeah, but at the end of the day, what the fuck are you creating? Especially now when it comes to women, right? Women, when it comes to the vagina, it's kind of like it's the bowel is what receives. So this is also one of the things when it comes to men who are emotionally unavailable, they are disconnected, they have rejected their feminine side, right? They are using sex as a way to get rid of the rage, the frustration, and everything that is within them, right? So what are you receiving? When you are doing that makeup sex, it's different when you are being intentional, right? Rather than, okay, fine, I'm just gonna, and then you just making love and humping each other with this whole whatever that is, and then you live in that. Because this is also one of the things that a lot of people come through, and it's like, my business was doing well, but now it's not doing well. And the question is not only when last did you have an orgasm, but who else had access to your sexual energy? Because whatever that they're bringing, they want to leave all the emotions and everything, and all this is going to distort your energy. So making love is that I'm going to create something with an intention. I'm going to be inspired by something. I'm going to be turned on, even when it comes to, for instance, just a simple thing. When I talk about healing generational trauma and emotional blocks, what do we feel about our desires? Right now, wherever that you at, and the friends that you have when you just go back, even the family, you have your desires, you are a visionary, you dream big, you know how powerful you are, you know you are meant for more. And when you move, everybody can feel your presence. And there are people that when you sit on a table and tell them, this is what I want, they look at each other and like, okay. And it's kind of like you are dreaming too much. You are too much for other people, right? And eventually, even if they don't say it, it's kind of like, okay, my friend, I know you can get that, but you can feel the energy that is not really like, go for it. Some people will be like, you are crazy and all that. That creates the energy of shame. You want something, it turns you on, but at the same time, there is the shame of getting that, or even you look at where you come from, where it's kind of like, yeah, we didn't have anything, but at least we had each other, right? So when you think of disconnecting from that, and it's like you are disconnecting when you're going to create something different, there is still that shame, guilt, that it's like you are leaving other people behind. Like, who are you to create that? So this is like one of the things, even when it comes to our desire, we are not authentic with our desires. And one thing here, it's a part of us that all of us kind of like, it would be nice if I can win a lottery.
Yeah.
But as much as it can be nice, and maybe you just buy a lottery ticket to try it, there is a part of you that is kind of like, it has a bit of shame, or even other people when they talk about, like, this is not a lottery winning and all that, there is a part of you that feels ashamed of that. This is why even when it comes to, what would you do with if you win $10 billion today, what would you do? And there is this whole thing, oh, I'm going to give some to charity and all that, because it's shameful for you to just want to use that money for yourself. You got to be nice and say you're going to give it to charity and all that. So we are ashamed of what we want, of what we desire. And making love is like, can I accept what I want? Can I accept my luxurious desires and life and everything? It doesn't matter what it is, but you are allowing yourself to be turned on by something bigger and go for it. It's different from when I'm going to wait for life to happen, and then now I'm moving from desperation, because what that does is whatever that you create out of desperation, you are creating from the imprint of desperation. And that means you're going to recreate that, because when it comes to sexual energy, is the energy of multiplication. Wherever that you're using it, then you're going to create more of that. So if you're using it in toxicity, you're going to multiply the toxicity. So when you're coming from being turned on, you want money and it's fucking turning you on, you have the capacity to receive it. Because even when it comes to creation, the universe does not respond to what we say we want in the mind. It responds to what we feel, what we have the capacity for. So if I don't feel turned on, that is one of the things that is just saying that you are not ready to receive this. Because I'm connected with people who, they've got big desires, big dreams for their businesses. And when I ask, like, if we're having a session, I want to know, what is your desire? And you want to tell me what your desires are. immediately the body is like, no, 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 cancel, delete, da, 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 da. So these are the patterns that I get to follow to say, okay, fine, there is this here, there is your maternal lineage here, paternal lineage, this is what is coming through and all that. So we get to clear that so that you can be in alignment. And here's the thing when it comes to also disconnecting from the generational trauma, whatever that you were born into, because it doesn't matter what everybody thinks or what they say. You were born into a family for a reason. This is why I spoke last even about our names, that they hold the frequency of the generation that we were born into. Whatever that our family went through, our bloodline went through, you carry those imprints. So if I go around and I say, I want to create this, in the mind, consciously, I know what I want to create. But in unconscious and all those ancestral imprints, what are they saying? Are they supportive of that? Or there is fear that, oh my God, you're going to be in trouble. The moment you get seen, the moment you get rich, or even the responsibility, if you have lots of responsibility, there's a part of you that is like, if I have this, then it's going to be much that is needed from me.
So Gao, how does somebody, let's go back to the scenario of I'm at dinner time with my family and cousins, aunties, uncles, whatever, whoever, and I'm telling them my dreams, and some of them are looking at me like, well, those are some big dreams. Aren't those reactions also triggering so that I can become more passionate and be more confident in my passion?
The question is, what do you make of it? And another thing, like you said, is also a trigger. Yes, it is, because even when something gets to you, let's say they are whatever that they are projecting, or
Sure.
how do you receive it? Because if it's sometimes we want to just defy what is being said,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm coming from, I will show you. That was me. Like I grew up with that energy. I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you. I love it, but at the same time, it can only take you so far because it's
Right.
coming from the external, whether it's pressure, I want to prove to you, and all that is not coming
Mm-hmm.
from within. This is
Mm-hmm.
who I am, and I'm doing this for myself. That soul embodied confidence, that soul knowing, that conviction that you get the fuck out of your way, or come with me. That's like the conviction that is within. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove you, and all that. It's external based, it's short-lived. You
Mm-hmm.
can't sustain it rather than when you come in from within. So it's also it's an informing moment at the same time to say, what is it that, like, what were you born into? And that gets to stick as well, because it's the magnetics that you're holding within. And here's the thing why the magnetics, I'm emphasizing the magnetics, because what I realize, whether it's healers and whatever, people are very big with, oh, I'm just gonna cut the cords, or go cut the cords. First thing is like, go cut the cords. What cords are you fucking cutting? Because at the end of the day, if my roots are my roots, and
Yeah.
the Martinez, and for me it's Motsemme, those are my roots. I was born into that lineage, right? And then I'm receiving all this, whether it's competitiveness in the family, or you can't be successful, or you gotta pull you down, which could be in words or just what people not saying, but the energy that they're just emitting when you're sharing what you're sharing, it's like pulling you down, right? So if you say you're gonna cut the cords, you are still connected to the roots that are feeding you. That is gonna come through again. But you get to work on the magnetics that you're holding into. If somebody is bringing something, it cannot stick unless I have that within me. It doesn't matter whether it's a partner, it doesn't matter whether it's your mother,
Yeah.
your sister, or whoever. What is it that you're holding into? Because if you don't have those beliefs, those experiences, and those emotional imprints from within you, that wouldn't matter.
That's absolutely, I feel that. I absolutely
Yeah.
feel that. Which is why it's important to get into your feminine energy and to know that that's your trusting creative force, because that's where
Yeah.
your true confidence is going to lie.
Absolutely. And here's the thing as well, even when it comes to not rejecting the feminine, because of course the feminine it has been rejected, oppressed, and repressed for
Yeah.
eons.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have been functioning from the toxic masculine, that
Mm-hmm.
patriarchal masculine, which is also what is informed and created by the society, which is not about you as a human being. It's about what is it that is esteemed in the society. So people make decisions from what is it that is validated and esteemed outside there, not what is it that esteems me from within. And I love to ask this question at times. People are like, when I ask, what is it that esteems you? people do not know, or they're just like, okay, fine, I want to be married. This is like the script that has been written. And most people realize that even when I'm trying to live by the script, go to school, whatever, get married or whatever, then at some point it's kind of like, this shit is not working. But then what? Which goes back to, who the fuck are you? Who are you as an individual? Which is like the beginning of everything that you get to create. But going back to the feminine, what I want to bring through is, as much as we are big on the feminine and all that, we get to be balanced. Because if you are bringing all this beautiful stuff from the feminine and all that, and all inspiration and all that, but you have this toxic masculinity, which is the structure that you want to hold this, and yet deep within there's a conflict that is happening between the masculine and the feminine, which is something that we see within and without. We see it without by the relationships that we have with men, that we have with the system. For somebody who has been on the other side of the judicial system, injustice and all that, it's still the masculine that I'm fighting with, even though it's like, oh, my ex-partner, my ex-husband did ABC. It's me and the war with the masculine, the war with the patriarchal God, which is like the real wounding here. So if there is no harmony between the feminine and the masculine, you're gonna bring the inspiration, you're gonna channel whatever that you channel, but you're not gonna take any fucking action. This is where the procrastination comes through, because here you are with all this beautiful, expansive thing, but when it comes to taking action, your masculine is like, yeah, you fucking kidding me? I ain't doing that. That doesn't make sense. Because in the masculine mind, it's like, this is what makes sense to the world, but you are bringing something that I'm not used to. So harmony is the way to go, because we need the balance, for us for that to work together. You bring in the ideas and everything and all the beautiful thing. Then there is this masculine that is holding that structure to say it is safe. You are supported for you to go ahead and create that. And you have the capacity as well if you have that structure from within.
I have a question. So I have an understanding of, and I hope our listeners have an understanding now of where the feminine energy comes from. But where's the masculine energy centered in the body?
It's for me, when I connect with somebody and I get to feel the masculine and the feminine, the masculine mostly is more like the right side, right side, which is like the same, the right side, right side mostly is like the masculine. Well, this is why I get to feel whatever that is the masculine and all that, and the feminine is more like the left side. And here's the thing, because even when I talk about the womb is like the word that we use for that. It's like more the feminine side, but on the other hand, even as men or the masculine, there is still the hara, is still that creation area, pelvic area, and all that is the hara energy, still the womb. But how I discern it is more the right side and the left side. That's what registered that. Yeah.
Specifically, that's how you discern it.
Yeah.
So I guess just to get a little bit more clarity here so that I fully understand this, my understanding of feminine energy is coming from the whole womb area, but also that's also where masculine energy is at as well, masculine and feminine.
Yeah, and here's the thing as well. As much as I'm speaking about the womb, it's kind of like the womb is where we get to hold that baby. The baby that we have. It doesn't matter whether it's a book or whatever that you're creating. This is where we conceive that baby that we get to nurture, feed it, and all that, and then eventually we're gonna give birth to this child. And it's still, when it comes to creation, it's still the same process. Same process of creating a baby. Same process of the first time when you didn't know how to have sex and you're afraid, oh my God, it's gonna hurt and all that, and then it hurts and then it's beautiful, pleasurable and all that, and you get pregnant, you go through all this, whatever that is happening, and then comes the labor time and you push, and before you know it, you're holding this baby, you're like, oh my God, you forgot that you're in pain a few hours or a few minutes ago. It's still the same fucking process, even though people it's kind of like there's an illusion of it's gonna be all bed and roses and all that. It's everything in between, just the process that we have of holding that baby. But the difference is I get to be anchored and connect to this. This is why even when it comes to a pregnant woman, they are more intuitive, because that energy is in the baby, the creation that is within. That's why they always come back to the body and hold this womb space. This is where the creation happens. But at the same time, we need all other parts of the body. We need the mind as well to what is the mind also bringing, the heart, what are the emotions that are coming through, because all this, they feed whatever that we are creating, right? So everything works together. If at all the heart is disconnected from the womb, which is also one of the things, when I say patriarchy made men powerless by disconnecting them from the heart, and it made women powerless by disconnecting them from their sexual energy. That means the heart and the womb are not working together, right? That's why men are more like hustlers, doers, action takers, and all that. And then the women are like, oh, but I love, because it's just like functioning from here. You do not know how to take this love and anchor it and connect to the womb, connect to the sexual energy, and create that. It's more like love that is not grounded. That's why the love, it's like, okay, fine. Like right now, people will be like, oh, love is useless and all that. Because you are not grounded, it's not fully connected to your womb, you are not able to create, which both of us, we need to connect to our womb to our heart. So basically everything works together, even though the womb is like where this creation is, but then everything works as in like, what am I feeding to this? Which still, like when you go back to the child, whether we're talking about the feminine, it's like these are the principles that we both have, men and women. But on the other hand, because the woman is the one who's holding the baby in the womb, the father is very important, as in like, how do you treat the mother of your child, even going through that process? Because whatever that they feel, they're feeding it to this child, however that they feel, whatever that disturbs them and all that. So you marinate and take all these emotions and all this pain, the feeling unwanted and everything. So you go through that process, whatever that your mother is feeling, you absorb it, and the child is born with that.
I love this. So whether we're creating a book, whether we're creating a song, whether we're a pianist or a singer, or if you create with both your energies, and you're really making love with the creation, you're gonna be creating something that's gonna resonate with your true authentic core.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it connects more with people where they want to be connected. And that's where inspiration starts to spring forth. I have a question. What is the difference between being magnetic and electric?
Hmm. That's a good question. I would say when it comes to electric, for instance, there are people who exude this,
So this is what I'm thinking. The reason I'm asking
which
this.
is
See,
fine. Because
the reason I'm
when it
asking
comes,
this, Gao, I'm sorry, because when you're
yeah,
talking about this creation, I couldn't help but think about the singer Prince, because I saw him in
hmm
concert like 3 times, and he's magical. He played all instruments, and he made love on stage by himself with every instrument. And I
hmm
guarantee you, he's probably good at making love in the bedroom too. And the what he brought into the bedroom, he brought onto stage. I can see it. I
yeah,
can see him the way he
yeah,
played guitar. I can see the way he sang, the way he dressed, the way he carried himself. And I was like, this man was exuding womb energy, creation.
yeah. Absolutely. The
Ye-
captivating energy where everybody wants to be part of that or around
right.
that.
So
Yeah.
he was both electric and magnetic.
And I love that you brought that in, because magnetic, for me, when you're speaking about magnetic, you're speaking about the energy that is also grounded. So when it's grounded, like you are not then able
That's
to
true. That is
produce.
it. Magnetic is grounded energy,
Yeah. And then, but electricity, it can be electricity which
which
can
is not
be,
always grounded.
yeah, and it can burn, or you understand? Like it's to get to me too much electricity and then burn up, or even burn you, because it's not grounded, or it's just the energy that is there, but then you are not able to produce, like, because there are many people who, like, they are connected, like, to the energy and all that. They can play with the energy, but they're not able to give birth to
Mm.
that in physical reality, like to crystallize whatever that they desire in physical reality. And that's exactly when it comes to, like, for instance, the lava archetype, which most of the people that are holding into that is like that electric energy and all that. The question is, have they grounded it? Like I was having a conversation with this other woman. She's beautiful, of course. And she's just like, yeah, like men always want me and all that. So I'm speaking to her that I love that for you and I appreciate that because you are beautiful and all that. But if you are just allowing every man, this is why when I say not everyone deserves access to your sexual energy. right? Because if somebody is like just working, it's like kind of like the electricity, the ungrounded energy that is like everybody wants to be a part of it, and everybody, they just feel this ooziness, everything. Every time when you pass, it's kind of like, oh my God. And then you open the door to say, okay, fine, just come to this electricity. And they bring all the electricity and even not sometimes not so good energy, but you don't know what to do with it. So it's like just on the surface and burning and doing whatever. And too much fire is not good,
Right.
so it's you end up wasting it. But when you ground it, then it becomes that it produces something, it becomes that magnetism. And also it comes back to also having boundaries on not allowing everybody, because people are magnetized to it. It's just like honey, like bees would come and whatever will come, and it's loved by everybody, but you've got the choice to say, okay, fine, whatever. No, 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 no. You are not allowed in my energy. You get to ground it and use it how you like harness it to create something rather
Yeah.
than, yeah.
Well, this has been an incredible episode. I feel like I can keep talking about this stuff and go off on another topic. I've really enjoyed this, and thank you so much for coming back to A Little Less Fear podcast. Gao the Queen Motsemme on A Little Less Fear podcast. How can our viewers, our watchers, before I conclude, I just want our watchers and our listeners to know that our last episode was episode 267, and the title of that episode was Allow Your Body to Communicate with You. So this has been really great to bring Gao back now at episode 286. And I'm looking forward to staying connected. Where can our viewers, our watchers, and our listeners get a hold of you and find you if they need to?
Actually, I'm gonna share one, I would say, ancestral healing. It's more like healing your family conflicts and everything, and also open up to your gifts, because we often run away from who we are, but yet when it comes to whatever that we're doing, people
Yeah.
connect to us, people buy us, because who you are, your true essence, is also an extension of your business. So I'm gonna share that with you,
Ooh, I
and
love that.
everyone who wants to connect with me, they will sign up for that kind of like conversation healing part of it. I'm transmuting energy in it, and I hope your audience would love it. So I'm gonna share that with you, and they will connect with me through that. And I'm also available in social media. Gao Motsemme. Find me LinkedIn, Facebook, and all that. But don't just find me. Take action, because you need to embody all that you are and use your sexual energy to create what you desire, and align with your unique signature blueprint.
Absolutely love leaving this energetic blueprint with you. Thanks for sharing our making love energy here on A Little Less Fear podcast and with our viewers, our watchers, and our listeners. Looking forward to staying connected with your love and your incredible energy. Thank you so much, Gal. So great to connect with you again.
My pleasure. I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.